Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Mindful Monday with Johnny Tiger, January 10th, 2022. Well, it seems like we've just gone into 2022 and there's a lot of possibilities. Well, right now, Omicron seems to be the biggest possibility anywhere you go. But, we see enough of that in the news, so let's not dwell on it. Today, I want to tell you guys of a couple of extremely kind individuals that Kitten and I have encountered just recently. It is very refreshing and usually very rejuvenating to encounter just one very kind person in our day-to-day life. Just one such encounter can brighten up your day. But imagine encountering two very kind and unrelated individuals in one day. It was honestly a little bit overwhelming, but I wish to share this with everybody because honestly, at the end of the day, this made me feel, wow, there's kindness everywhere. I felt my world was a little bit brighter, a little bit more cheerful, that there is actually hope in the air, that 2022 is going to be awesome. So, as most of you know, that Kitten is now back in California. So, prior to boarding the flight, she had to get a COVID test. That is the current rule, and you have to get your test within 24 hours. Now, for those of you who've never been blind and don't know what it's like, let me try to explain this in as little detail as I can, because we don't want to dwell too much on this point. But the whole process of booking your appointment for a COVID test, and to find a way to get there, and then to find people to help you once you get there, because once the taxi or whatever drop you off at the building, or you take the bus to go there yourself, and once you get to the building, you don't know who to talk to, and everyone is so freaked out about social distancing. They want to stand like 7 feet or 70 feet away from you, and you can barely hear them because everybody has masks on. When you're visually impaired or blind, this experience, well, let's just say I expected this experience to be rather unpleasant. And it really didn't disappoint me in the beginning when we were trying to book the appointment for the COVID test. It was extremely unpleasant. It took three of us, Kitten, myself, and my buddy Wesley, uh, to navigate the website and get it all figured out. And then, even for Wesley, who is highly educated and sighted and know his way around a computer, was stumped by how difficult it was to book the test. There are so many procedures. You got to fill in this form and then take the result over to another website, and then they send you a confirmation, and you take this confirmation, you go to a different link and sign up there, and then you create a password and an account. It's crazy. It's like really, whoever designed this stuff, it's crazy. Uh, we ended up taking almost 4 hours to get it done before the appointment was finally booked. So the day came around when we had to go and actually get to the place where Kitten could get her COVID test. Uh, it was Saturday, January 8th, early in the morning. We have to be there 9 in the morning, and just to be safe, because when you are blind or visually impaired, you always want to sort of leave yourself a little bit of a leeway when you get to places, just in case you get lost. So we got up bright and early, got ready, and we were out the door by, oh, 10 after 8. Uh, the place for the testing, luckily, was only 5 minutes away from my residence, which means we would have gotten there way too early. But that's okay because I anticipated there are going to be some silliness and try to figure things out once we got there. So I wanted us to have plenty of time for that. The driver that picked us up, we booked a Lyft ride, and the driver that picked us up was a nice East Indian gentleman. Uh, I believe his name was Kobachin. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but Kobachin, Kobachin. Um, and he was a little bit hard to understand because he had a really thick accent, but very, very pleasant. Uh, Taking us there, and he got out of the car to help us into the building, make sure that we got to the front desk, and that we were talking to somebody before he left. Now, ordinarily, this would have been already been a stellar performance on the uh, on the part of the driver, making sure that your passenger is safe inside and know where they're going before you depart. Normally, this would already been a stellar performance by the driver, but that wasn't just it. We were in there conducting our business, and then about, oh, I would say half an hour, 40 minutes later, we got tested and everything filled out and everything registered, and we were ready to leave. Before we came home, we decided, well, hey, there's a McDonald's right next door to the COVID testing site. So let's go there since we got up this early. Let's reward ourselves with some McDonald's breakfast. Yeah, 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 I know some people say that's not much of a reward, but you know what? We take pleasure wherever we can find it. So we went over to McDonald's, uh, and just as we were ordering our food, we heard someone talking to us behind us, and we turned around, and it was our driver, Kovachin, the same driver, Lyft driver, that just dropped us off at the COVID testing site. And he said, "Hello, I'm your driver. Um, I see that you guys are ready to eat here. Take your time. I'll wait here and then I'll take you home afterward." Oh, this was great because this totally saved us the trouble of having to book another Lyft ride and trying to figure out if another driver was going to be accommodating and cooperating and all that stuff. So this was a definitely delightful surprise. And Kovachan was so patient. The whole time, Kitten and I were eating and chatting and just enjoying ourselves, taking it easy. He was just hanging out there at the McDonald's, and he would come over periodically to check if we needed anything, if we needed to throw things in the trash, or if we got napkins or stuff like that. And then after that, he uh, took us home. Now, keep in mind, at this point, when we were at the McDonald's and he was waiting there for us to take us home, at this point, my very cynical self was thinking, oh, okay, so he is a very smart business person. He knew he dropped us off at the COVID testing site. He knew we had to go home. So he was waiting here at McDonald's. So as soon as he saw us coming out, he could hustle over and take us home and he'd get paid again. That was my thought. And I was thinking maybe he's going to probably going to bill us for the time that he's waiting at McDonald's as well. But still, it was a very nice gesture. It was convenient for us to not have to book another ride. So I didn't feel anything negative about it. I figured hey, if he's that smart of a business person, if he's that enterprising, good for him. Uh, I got the most pleasant shock of uh, my recent memory when he dropped us off back at my place. We were getting out of the car and we were going to pay him, and he said, "No, no, no. I just took you home. You don't need to pay me." Wow. So this guy hung out at McDonald's, waiting for us to finish eating, made sure that we got home, and he wasn't expecting to get paid. Yeah, okay. I admit, I was too cynical. I was wrong, and I apologize to whatever God, entities, uh, fortune out there, karma. I freely admit it was me being a cynical person. I was wrong to suspect that he had a monetary business motive behind it, while he did it all out of the kindness of his heart. So this alone was already an amazing, amazing experience out of that day. This alone would be enough to brighten my days for many, many more days to come. Just the memory of it would be sufficient to make me feel happy. But there was more still. Let me backtrack a little bit. When we got to the COVID testing site and got to up to the counter, there was this Asian lady named Dina who was there at the counter, and Dina, uh, in the beginning, uh, did basically what she was supposed to do. Took Kitten's information and then uh, got us a chair, told us where to sit, and we waited. And then she came around and took us in, and she could do Kitten's COVID test, and I helped fill out the paperwork. Again, up to this point, Dina was doing something that she was uh, that was within the scope of her job. She was doing a very good job, but she wasn't doing anything too exceptional. However, after we were done, she asked us where we wanted to go. And Kitten and I said, "Oh, we are going to head over to McDonald's for breakfast." And Dina came around the counter and after notifying her coworker, she walked us over to McDonald's, making sure that we got there safely. Now, this already would have placed Dina above many people that we have dealt with in the past. But there's more still. Before she left us, Dina asked if we would be okay printing out the result at home. I guess she wondered if we had a printer, being we both being blind, and rightfully so, because I turn out do not have a working printer at home. So I said, "Oh, I didn't realize that we have to print this. I thought you just take it to the airport and show them on your phone." Dina said, "Oh no, no, you have to. They send you an email and with the result, and you have to print it out to show them at the airport." Before I even say, "Oh crap, okay, what are we going to do with that?" Like maybe I have to get a friend to help us print this out. Before I even got that far, Dina said, "Well, okay, uh, what if tomorrow when you get the result, I print it out for you and you can come pick it up on the way to the airport. I'll call you. I'll call you when I see your result and let you know what the result is. I'll print it out for you." Wow. I mean, that was wow. I was like, Well, thank you, lady. You just saved me a whole bunch of headache by offering to do that. And after we went home, again, my little cynical part of Johnny Tiger, that nasty little voice inside that has been cheated, betrayed, and abused too many times before, piped up. And this little cynical voice said to me, he just told you, he just told you that. And tomorrow she'll probably forget all about it. She'll get busy and she won't even remember you guys. After all, they have to COVID test thousands, tens of thousands of people every day. There's no way she's going to take time aside to deal with us and print things out for us. So Sunday came around, and Kitten and I sat up and had breakfast and was relaxing, and I basically was a little bit smug inside of my head. I was thinking, yeah, see, it's 11 o'clock already. Dina is not calling us. I bet she's forgotten all about it. I bet in the end of the day, I have to call my friends and they have to print things out for me. Just as that thought started to form in my head and solidify, the phone rang and it was Dina. And Dina said, um, I'm sorry, I can't get into your result because I don't have your password. And can I have your password for the account and I can go take a look? Well, long story short, there was a lot of technical difficulties on her end, on my end, on Kitten's end. The website was not cooperating. It was so frustrating. Dina stayed on the phone. Again, let me rehash this. This is a place where they have to COVID test thousands, if not tens of thousands, of people every day. Dina stayed on the phone with us uh, for a good 40 minutes or more, hanging up several times to call tech support, and in the end, finally was able to get into the account and print out the result. By this time, I was so touched by how much of her time she was willing to give us that I was feeling kind of ashamed that I had such negative thoughts, cynical thoughts earlier. And I almost cried when she said, hey, I remember you say you only live 5 minutes away. So tell you what, I'm going to ask my supervisor if it's okay for me to drop by your place and give you guys a printout so you don't have to come to our office to pick it up. And true to her word, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, about an hour or so before we have to leave for the for the airport, not hospital, airport, Dina showed up at my residence with a print out of the file and gave it to us. Wow, talk about going above and beyond the call of duty. The, these two individuals were so amazing that I get this warm, fuzzy glow about me uh, just when I think about this particular experience. Those of you who watched my uh, Pretty Woman episode before probably have understood that after that negative experience, I felt like I lost faith in humanity a little bit. Well, let me say this. After this new experience, my faith in humanity have not only been restored, but probably doubled.